Hey guys, this is Zuyv, and this will be the second part to my Barbarian Assault Guide. And in this video, I will be discussing the Defender role. Now, the Defender role is generally the hardest amongst people without strategy. It is the hardest role to do without a strategy. However, it is easy if you do know what to do. Now, I will explain basically not the basics. I will not explain the extreme basics of the Defender role, and I expect you to know what right food is, wrong food is, things like that. I will explain some a little bit more advanced concepts like stacking, but I will not explain how every single part of the Defender role works. Now, before you do anything else, you need to know the runner's spawns. Now, I've written up this little document, and basically this says the runner's spawns. So, how this works is basically, in each wave, there's an amount of runners that will come out without any runners dying. That is the first number. And then the second number will be the amount of runners that will need to be killed for all of them to come out. So for wave 1, all of them will automatically be out, even if you have not killed any, because the second number is 0. For wave 2, you have to kill 1 for all of them to be out. There is a total of 3 runners on wave 2, because 2 plus 1 equals 3. Then for wave 3, this is what you call a repair wave. This is because the second number is a 2. Now, when the second number is a 2, that means that you have to kill 2 runners to move on, to advance. Now, killing 2 runners with your trap will break the trap, because the trap can only hold 2 deaths of runners before it breaks. Now, so for wave 3, you will have to repair the trap unless you get cannoned, unless it cannons the runner. Then wave 4 is a non-repair wave, 5 non-repair wave, 6 is another repair wave, 8 is another repair wave, and 9 is a unique wave in which basically you have to repair the trap twice, or you have to stack 4 at once and then kill the 5. I suggest killing 2 at once, 2 at once, and then 5, therefore repairing it twice, but I will get more into detail on wave 9, repair waves and non-repair waves just now. Waves 3, 6, 8, and 9 are the repair waves, and the non-repair waves are 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 10. Now, about repair waves, basically these are waves that the second spawn, basically what is in the cave while you are killing the rest, does not come out until you kill at least 2 runners. So you have to kill 2 runners for the rest of them to come out. And when you kill runners, that means that you have to repair the trap. So, this makes it a repair wave. Now, I wrote this about repair waves just so you can maybe read it, and I'll read it out loud. Repair waves are waves that you must repair the trap on. This is because you must kill at least 2 runners before all of them come out. The strategy is almost the exact same as non-repair waves. Basically, I'll explain the strategy some more, but it's pretty much the exact same except for the fact that you get logs on repair waves when you don't on non-repair waves. It's as simple as that. Before I move on to non-repair waves, I want to explain what stacking is. Basically what stacking is when you go onto the spot that there's food next to the trap. When you go there, runners cannot go onto that square because you are currently on it. So basically you will stand on the food that you placed, and runners will run up. You stand there, and they will not eat the food and die. When you have all the runners that have spawned, you can then move, and it will kill the runners. But if someone runs over you, that is called trampling. If you trample someone, then the runners will go through them. That is why people do not want to run through the defender. Now, non-repair waves are actually somewhat hard to understand. Basically, what they are is when you kill one runner, only one, so the trap does not break, and then you stack the rest. And I've just explained what stacking is, so you shouldn't care. But I will explain it further in depth later, and I will also show examples through the guide. But this is the fastest way to kill runners on non-repair waves. It's pretty simple, but it's hard to understand at first. Alright, so the strategy for non-repair waves, I'm going over this first because most waves are actually non-repair waves. So first, you drop 2 correct food 1 spot north of the trap. Next, you will drop 1 food pretty much northwest of the cannon. And then you will click directly north, which will be 1 through 2 squares south of the runner spawn, and then you will drop 1 correct food along the way. And then when you get to the square that you clicked, you will drop 3 correct food. Or what I normally do is drop all but 1 of the correct food I have. Then you drop an incorrect food, preferably next to the logs. Pretty much 1 spot southeast is why I found the best spot. But you can drop it pretty much anywhere near the logs as long as it's not north of them. Then you run back to the trap and make sure it wasn't broken. So make sure only 1 runner died. If it was broken, then you need to drop 2 incorrect food where you are, or next to the trap, it doesn't matter, and grab a hammer and logs. Then you will drop it correct food next to the trap, repair the trap, then stack the runners and kill them. If the trap was not broken, you pretty much stand on top of the food, stack the runners and kill them. Here are some examples, and I will bring up this screen for a bit again later. When you are in a wave, click the dispenser and call using the first letter of the call. For example, if it is worms, then you will say W. Then when you're running up, actually call the call with your horn. Then run 1 square north of the trap and drop 2 correct food. If both runners on wave 1 go south, then you only need to drop 1 food between them and then go back to the trap to stack them. Otherwise, go through all other parts of the strategy until you know why they are important. And you can basically do it picking and choosing the parts that you go through. Go back in the video if you want more information on wave 1. What is shown here is the exact strategy you will be using on all non-repair waves. This will be slowed down in the next clip. Alright, so this is the slowed down version of the clip that you just saw. Basically, I'm doing this so that you can see the spots in which I drop the food. So first spot will be 2 correct food 1 square north of the trap. Next, I will run northwest of the cannon and drop 1 correct food. And then I will run north, about 1 to 2 squares south of the runner spawn, dropping a correct food along the way, and then a few food, all except one generally, near the runner spawn. Then I will drop one wrong food one square southeast of the southeastern log. Next, I will stand on the food I first dropped next to the trap. Then I will wait here until the runner comes by and spawns and comes by. Wave 7 will use an extremely similar strategy to Wave 2. The only exception to this will be pretty much that you stack 5 runners second rather than 2 runners. What you saw before is Wave 2, and now this is Wave 7. This is recreating it at a higher wave, and it's actually the same exact strategy, the same exact difficulty. It's not any harder to do it on higher waves. Now, repair waves are almost the exact same as non-repair waves. You still drop 2 correct food 1 spot north of the trap, 1 correct food barely northwest of the cannon, then you click a spot 1 through 2 squares south of the runner spawn and drop 1 correct food along the way. When you reach the square you clicked, then drop 3 correct food, or all except 1. Then you grab logs. Drop an incorrect food on the logs you grabbed. It should have been the southeastern logs that you grabbed. And then you grab a hammer. Then you go back to the spot north of the trap and make sure the trap was broken. If the trap was not broken, look for a runner that should have ate the food and broke the trap. If it's close to the trap, wait for it to eat the food next to the trap and break it, and then drop a correct food to the north of the trap. If it was not near it, then you probably have a Westie. If people call Westie, then tell them to cannon it. If they do not call a Westie, then just keep going until you don't see a runner spawning. Then pretty much blame them if you happen to have messed up. So, then you repair the trap. After you drop a correct food north of the trap and start stacking them, do not move off the square you dropped the correct food. Then you stack the rest of the runners and you kill them. It's pretty much the same thing as non-repair waves, except you're repairing the trap. And you have to repair the trap on these waves. There is no exceptions except if a runner's cannoned. That's sort of an exception, but not really. That is not an exception. There is no exceptions at all. Now this will be wave 3. Wave 3 is the first repair wave that you will encounter. Pretty much, it's the same exact strategy as non-repair waves, except you are repairing the trap. You still go northwest of the can and do the same exact movements, you just pick up the logs and then drop the incorrect food. Then you repair the trap. And one of the things to note on repair waves, let the runner die and you drop the food and repair the trap before you stack the runners. So make sure you repair the trap. You have to repair the trap before you stack runners. So make sure the trap is broken all the way before you repair it, and then stack the runners. I pretty much said the same thing multiple times, but that's pretty much it. And now this will be a slowed down version of it. Obviously I'm calling when I go to the dispenser, saying the letter of it, not actually calling. Then when I go north, I call with a horn, and I drop 2 correct food to the north of the trap. Then much like non-repair waves, I will go northwest of the cannon and drop a food. Then I will click a few spots around the runner spawn, drop 1 correct food along the way, and then drop all but 1. In this case, because it's wave 3, I don't need to drop many food, but on wave 8 and 9, you will need to drop a lot of food. You will need to drop all but 1 of your correct food. But in this case, because it's wave 3, you don't need to drop a ton of food. And then you go back to the trap, let the second runner die. Do not repair a trap that is 1. Only repair it if it needs repairing to kill runners. Now, wave 8 is the exact same as wave 3, except you drop more food when you're going north. I do the exact same strategy, I just drop a bit more food when I'm near the runner's spawn. But there is something I would like to say in this clip that you will see later on. Basically, a runner gets past the trap without eating the food, and it keeps going past the trap even though I have food next to the trap. What you will want to do in this case, you can see it right now, the runner is about to go south. What you want to do is you want to drop an incorrect food next to it, or near it, and then you want to stack it. Pretty much the same exact way. When you drop the incorrect food, have a correct food near it. Now, wave 9 is technically a repair wave. However, it doesn't follow the same rules as other repair waves. Basically, this wave, you have to repair the trap twice. You have to kill 2 runners, then kill 2 more runners, and then you can stack the rest of the 5. You cannot simply kill 2 runners, repair the trap, and then do it. So you have to pick up 2 logs. And then you go back to the trap, and you basically stack 2 more runners. And yeah, it's basically the same as most repair waves, except you stack multiple times. So, it's fairly hard to understand, and I will throw in some information on it and a slowed down version right after this, but it's pretty simple. So, wave 9 is not the same as wave 8 in terms of strategy. You basically will have to drop 2 correct food 1 spot north of the trap. Then you will drop 1 correct food barely northwest of the cannon, click a spot 1 through 2 squares south of the rare spawn and drop 1 correct food along the way. The same thing that you've been doing the other strategies. Then you want to grab 1 log and drop an incorrect food on that square. Then grab the other log. So you need 2 logs. Then you go back to, well, you pick up a hammer, and then you go back to the spot of the trap, 1 square north of the trap, and make sure the trap was broken. If it was not broken, look for a runner that should have spawned. If it's close to the trap, wait for it to eat the food next to the trap and break it, and kill itself. Then you want to drop 2 to 3 correct food north of the trap. Then you want to repair the trap, and stack 2 runners, only 2, and kill them. Then you want to stand back on the square north of the trap. You want to go back on that square. And then you repair the trap and stack the rest of the 5 runners. It's a simple strategy. It's basically killing them in 2-2-5 order. But it's very different from all other waves. Now the queen wave is a very simple relief from the rest of the waves. Pretty much, you drop 2 correct food 1 spot west of the trap, not north, west. You have to drop it west or it will not work. Then you go 5 squares west from there and drop a correct food. You have to run, so it's nice to find out where that spot is as 5 squares west from where you are standing and then go there. It has to be 5 squares. And then from there you have to run directly north and drop correct food along the way. It will likely take about 2. 1 about 4 squares from the north wall, 4 to 6 squares from the north wall, and 1 along the way. And that pretty much will get every spawn to go straight to the trap. Then you want to go back to the trap and stand on the food. Only 1 runner should have been killed. On wave 10, there's actually a lot of... It's difficult sometimes to make the runners not break the trap. But you have to be quick. It's pretty much just you have to be quick. There's no possible... there's ways that you can make it there before the runners. So you just have to be quick and practice and become quicker at doing wave 10. Then you want to stack the rest of the runners, which are 5, and then kill them. Now, as you can see, I'm doing wave 10 in the background. Instead of commenting all the way through it, it's pretty easy to do based on the explanation. So, I'm just going to end the video after this wave. Thank you for watching and leave a rating, and I will have links to parts 1, 3, 5, 4, and 6 in the description when they come out. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you gained some Barbarian Assault knowledge. I hope to see you being a pro at Barbarian Assault after you see this, because I spend most of my time at Barbarian Assault. If not, I'm training my pure. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe, things like that. And I will see you in the next video.